focused, people. Let's stay focused. I want to listen to this whole thing what happened to Venus Williams.
Venus Williams breaking her silence after police say she was at fault in a deadly car crash. The accident happened earlier this month in Palm Beach Gardens.
CBS Sports' Vanessa Borge is here now with the latest. Vanessa.
Rick Rudabay, Venus was on her way home when she got into a car accident with another driver. The passenger in that car died. And according to the police report, Venus is to blame. The tennis superstar should be making headlines for her upcoming tennis tournament. Instead, a Palm Beach Gardens police report with her name on it. On June 9th at 1 in the afternoon, Williams was driving north on Steeplechase Drive and tried to make it through the intersection, but she told police traffic caused her to slow down and she did not see the other car that was traveling west on North Lake Boulevard. The passenger of that vehicle was 78-year-old Jerome Barson. His wife Linda was driving. Jerome suffered head trauma from the accident. He died 2 weeks after the car crash. The police report states that Williams violated Barson's right-of-way and Williams is at fault. There was no evidence Williams was under the influence of drugs or alcohol, according to police.
How much can Steiner It's Going Green get you?
The driver, Linda Barson, is being represented by Michael Steiner from the well-known firm Steiner, Isco & Green. They issued a statement saying the widow is extremely distraught and heartbroken and that she was married to him for over 35 years. Venus Williams also released a statement through her attorney. Miss Williams entered the intersection on a green light. The police report estimates that Miss Williams was traveling at 5 miles per hour when Mrs. Barson crashed into her. Authorities did not issue Miss Williams with any citations or traffic violations. This is an unfortunate accident, and Venus expresses her deepest condolences to the family who lost a loved one. Palm Beach Gardens police say the investigation is ongoing. No charges have been filed yet. The news of the deadly accident comes 1 week before Venus is expected to play in the Wimbledon tennis tournament in London. Vanessa Borge, CBS 4 News Tonight.
Okay, so it's a 78-year-old man died, and the woman was a 68-year-old woman, or so on and so forth. And here they ask her about it again, and she just breaks down crying.
I saw that you wrote on your Facebook some very heartfelt words about it.
She's so
Is
fine.
there anything else that you just would want to say about that?
There are really no words to describe like how devastating and I'm completely speechless, and it's just I'm just.
There's nothing she can say. There's really nothing she can say, and she breaks down crying, here. And there they say, please be aware that she is unable to say anything more about this case because it's ongoing. And truthfully, and there she is crying, she doesn't want to say anything else, even if so she leaves the interview, which she should have. BBC Sports. Yeah, that's the way I'm looking at this whole thing. When they said she's at fault, but they don't issue her any citations. You went through a green light. We weren't there. But, with the way the police see this, they're still saying she's at fault, but they don't issue her any citations. I don't know about any of you, but I've been in a couple accidents where the police didn't issue anybody citations, but I got hit, but the other person was at fault. So that's the way it was reported to my insurance, and their insurance had to pay for my car. You know what I mean? Nonetheless, the police, it was a police woman. She's like, I'm not going to issue anybody any citations. You guys are just going to have to work that out. I was like, okay, cool. Hold on a second. I feel bad. for Venus. I really do. guys know I got allergies. Because anybody who is being blamed for taking a life of somebody else, you know, especially on an accident, not somebody purposely doing it, on an accident, is going to be distraught. And this reaction of hers is the way I would look at anybody. What's really something is the way sports is set up. She has to go through these interviews. And the sad part about it is they're not really interested in what she's doing with tennis right now. They just want to talk to her about the man that she supposedly had killed. That's what really sucks about this. Because if it bleeds, it leads. They'd rather talk about death than success. You already know what happened. You already saw the police report. I'm sure it's blasted all over the internet. Why would you ask her again about this? What's your point? What are you hoping she could say? You know it's under an investigation. You're a reporter. You know how this goes. If it's under an investigation, there's not much more she could say about it. So why even bring it up again just to get this reaction? Why? Because they rather talk about death than success. Why put her through this? She was doing okay. She knows what happened. Venus, I saw what you wrote on your Facebook and some heartfelt. You already know how she felt. She told you right there how she felt on Facebook. Why ask her, does she have anything else more to say? Why do her like that? What's the point? They rather talk about death than success. She's one of the most successful women in the whole wide world, in history. You don't want to talk about her success at Wimbledon. You want to talk about how, the police say she killed this man. If they're saying she's at fault, they're saying she killed him. I think that sucks. I think that sucks bad. Okay. Do I feel bad for her? Yeah. Hell yeah. For all intents and purposes, Venus is a good person. Her and her sister. Very successful women coming out of a very hard neighborhood in Compton. The way their father raised them, he raised them to think successfully. He even told a reporter, who was coming at them when they were kids, was coming at her because she was confident. She was like, I know I'm going to win. He's like, how do you know you're going to win? She's like, I just know I'm going to win. He's like, how do you know? And the reporter and the father stopped the reporter and says, you're talking to a teenager. She'll be playing tennis when we're dead and gone. He says, she said once that she knows she's going to win. Don't mess with her confidence. The father was on. He's like, don't mess with her confidence. If she says she's going to win, then let her believe that. She was raised at bullets flying every day. And the people doing the killing and shooting is watching her. Her and her sister. And they were watching them for a reason. Because they knew the death that surrounded them in their lives. They knew that the majority of them wasn't going to make it out the hood. But they were hoping that these two little girls would be the example that they couldn't be. And a lot of those guys did not make it out of the hood. Some dead before the age of 21. But these two girls have been more successful than most people in history. But they don't want to talk about that. They want to talk about something that she can't fix. And truthfully, it could have happened to anybody. It could have been me or you doing the same thing. Because as far as we can tell, other than what the police say, like I said, we weren't there. She was doing what drivers do. She was doing what she thought was correct. And she didn't see it. Not to mention, she was driving at 5 miles an hour. She wasn't drunk, and it was a green light she went through. And the lady hit her. Accidents happen. So, to Venus and her fam, stay strong, These lawyers are going to come at you, They're going to try to get your money. You're going to pay something out. It is what it is. But don't let it mess with your success. You'll make that money back in no time. Don't let them stop your grind, Don't let, assholes like this reporter phase you. Just tell them, look, I can't talk about that. Are there any more questions? And she did right by leaving. Because now nobody else can ask you questions. Not to mention, when they do these interviews, these are under contracts. You know what happened with Marshawn Lynch, and he didn't want to do them, and then they start fining him like $25,000. It's a lot of money. So, after so many of those fines, Marshawn had to do the interviews. And he would do the minimum. And that's because they made fun of him once. And when they made fun of him, he got offended. He's also from Compton, I believe. And he got offended. Now, she can do the same thing. If you're going to keep asking her questions that she really can't answer, and it's going to lead her into an emotional state where she's unable to talk to anybody, she could just simply tell you guys, listen, if you guys are going to ask me about the car accident, then I'm really not going, I really can't answer you. Okay? I really can't talk to you about that. Please don't ask me about the car accident. I'll be more than willing to talk to you about tennis, in music or whatever else I'm into, but please do not ask me about the car accident. And if somebody nuts up and asks her about the car accident, she's well within her rights to get up and leave under the contract. You know what I'm saying? And anybody who is representing her, Gatorade, whatever, car companies, whoever, because there's a lot of people who represent her. Anybody who's representing her is really watching her now because, look at what happened with Tiger Woods when he messed up, with all those women. All those people dropped him. And, or, anybody else who's playing sports and these people are behind them, these sponsors, they'll drop you if you're in the wrong. But she's not in the wrong. So people are really, really focusing on her. And her money is it's not in jeopardy. She'll pay out $1 million to this old lady or so and so forth. It'll all go away. But, her contracts are not going to go anywhere as far as sponsorship. Because they clearly see that even though the police say she was in the wrong, she was not drunk. She didn't do it on purpose. You know what I'm saying? If she would have been wilding out like some of these superstars do, they just go crazy. You know what I'm saying? Mel Gibson going off the chain and stuff like that. It's just like, we can't represent you. But there's somebody driving 5 miles an hour through a green light, and just so happens that an elderly woman hit her, and the elderly man, died as a result of this. It's like, okay, Lord, why me? I was just going through an intersection at 5 miles an hour in a green light, and then bang, I hit a lady at 5 miles an hour, and the man died. It's like, what? Wait, what? You know, it'll humble you, and I'm betting that's probably why this happened to her. I'm just betting. Somewhere along the line, she needed to be humbled. You know, this is not like Brandy, when Brandy hit that little boy. Brandy was at fault. Halle Berry, I think she did the same thing. There's a couple other stars who killed people in car accidents. There's some stars who just flat out killed people. Marky Mark, him or his brother, he just flat out killed a man. So, unfortunately, Venus is now on one of those lists as a star who's killed somebody. And it just sucks because it's like, damn, you feel like a murderer. But it's like anybody, that could have happened to anyone. So I just feel bad for her, you know. I don't know her personally. I don't really care to know her. It's just the simple fact that it could have happened to anyone. Anyways, God bless you guys. And, yeah, God bless.